Building, running, and even failing at multiple businesses has taught me a lot about women, because what I started to realize was that women in business are very, very similar, extremely similar. Pretty much everything that happens and it gets applied in business is also the same thing that gets applied in relationships, right? Especially with women. And I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that I've learned so that you can understand that it is very important for you, especially the people who are in my audience that are entrepreneurs, that are people who are, high rollers, people who are actually doing things in life that actually have a mission. You have to understand that everything that you're learning within this mission, within the business that you run, is the same thing that can be translated in your relationship, because the way that you treat your business is very, very eerily similar to how you're going to treat your relationships if you understand how to bridge the gap and how to take those lessons from your business and apply it to your actual relationship. And if you don't have a business right now, you can still learn a lot, right? And so before I even begin, I do want to say this. If you are a high roller, if you are somebody who is building a mission, building a legacy, building an actual business, and you want a high caliber woman by your side, you want somebody who is elite, you want somebody who is going to help you continue to build your empire with you and benefit you, not take from you, link will be in the description. Tap in with me, right? I'll be able to help you through that process. I'll be able to help you align your identity to find the exact woman that will truly benefit you in life, and even retain the woman that you already have if you are already married, if you're already in a relationship. I'll be able to help you through all of that with my 4-signal process that I've put together. My way of understanding, because here's the thing, I'm married, I have a business, I understand how to balance both, and I'm thriving in both. And you can do the same thing. If you're a freeloader, again, this wasn't for you. You probably either skipped over this video, and I hope that you probably just left completely, because I don't like freeloaders. I don't like people who are just here to take. I want to talk to the high rollers who actually are being successful, right? Who are successful in business and want to be successful in their relationships. So the link will be in the description for my private Telegram. You can DM me to be able to work with me one-on-one, to be able to see if it makes sense to work together, and we can get that thing started. My program is $5K starting now. It's going to go up. It's going to double as I get more testimonials. I currently have about 2 guys who are currently in the pipeline to start working with me. My cap is 5 before I increase the price. So if that's something you're interested in, again, link will be in the description. Now, for the freeloaders, and hopefully the high rollers are still here as well, let's talk about this, right? So what do I mean by business taught me a lot about women? So what I've realized, because I've been at that phase where I was, fucking around with a bunch of different women and sleeping around, doing whatever. I've done that phase. The red pill shit that they tell you to spin plates and never commit to one woman is the worst thing in the world. I've had that mentality for a while. But you know what I realized? It's very, very similar to business, because I took that same thought process and also had that in my business as well. Because what you do in one thing is what you do in everything. In business, I wasn't necessarily committed to one business. I was trying to manage multiple businesses at a time. Multiple. And it gave me a sense of relief, because I didn't have to commit to one thing. If one business failed, then I had all of these other businesses in my mind. That's what I thought was the most effective strategy. In my mind, I had all these other businesses that would still work in the process, and I wouldn't feel the utter failure of actually losing in one business that I've put my everything into. How does this relate to women? Well, a lot of men nowadays, they have the thought process they need to sleep around with a bunch of different types of women. And they need to have rotations, and they need to have all of that so that they can mitigate the chances of heartbreak, because they had a previous heartbreak before and they don't want to replicate the same process. They don't want to commit anymore, because now they believe that all women are the same. Same with business. You now believe that all businesses are going to fail, so you might as well have as many businesses as possible, even though you're running at a fraction of your potential, because you cannot put all of your energy into one business and have it grow and multiply and actually benefit you in the long run, and put systems in place to have that business grow. So what do? You bounce around with a bunch of different business ideas, with a bunch of different businesses that you launch. I've done this many times, so I know that this is a real thing. And you just hope that one of them actually strikes gold. And none of them do, because all of them are working probably at 20% of their capacity. And it's the same with women. The same guys who are sleeping and being with 100 different types of women, or 50 or 5 different types of women at a time, they're literally dividing their attention across the board with all of these different women, mostly so that they don't feel the failure that happens when the relationship that they could potentially go into, that could potentially grow with them and help them multiply their business, they start to avoid that. And they start to lose because now their energy's fractured and now they can't put everything into one specific vehicle, one elite caliber woman that could genuinely help you and propel you in your life, right? So you have to understand that that's important. Now you might be saying, Martel, well, all women are bad, all women are this. It's the same type of excuse that guys who are in business or guys who want to be in business and say, well, all businesses are hard. All businesses aren't even worth it because they're all going to fail anyway. What are the percentages of businesses that actually are successful? Well, there are hundreds of thousands of businesses that are successful, that are profitable. But your reticular activating system, because you have not had that recognition that it is possible, all you do is you find patterns of businesses that are failing. It's the same with men. You find patterns of women who are the worst possible human beings to be with, and you just assume that all are the same, and it's not the case. Because you just have to be able to recalibrate your pattern recognition system to be able to find the best possible option for you. The same with business. You recalibrate your brain to find the best possible business model, the best possible business avenue that works for you. Again, it's literally all aligned, right? And so you have to understand that, and this is going to piss a lot of people off. The goal, if you are a man who is actually serious about your life, if you're not serious about your life, honestly, fuck off. That's one. And I know this because you're now wanting to juggle a bunch of different women. You want to play that game. That shit is for fucking teenagers, bro. Like, you're a grown man. You're in your late 20s, early 30s. You're at a point where that shit should be done, right? You're not a freelancer anymore. That's the thing, right? A lot of these guys want to build these random light businesses. They don't want to go all in on it. So they end up becoming freelancers because they don't even put any systems in place. And the actual business can't grow. Same with relationships. You want to start juggling around a bunch of different women. You're a fucking freelancer. You're a freelancer. You're not a business owner. You're not a relationship owner, right? Not in that way, because I know a lot of idiots who are low IQ are going to take it the wrong way and spin it. Of course, that's human nature. But you get what I'm saying. It's all about making sure that you find the right woman for you. I'm not saying that all women are good and all women are bad. There is a right woman for you. Same way there is a right business model for you. It could be e-commerce. It could be coaching. It could be tech, building a tech company. There is a business model out there for you, but you have to calibrate yourself to understand, okay, which one am I going to go all in on? Which one am I going to give it my full focus? And if it fails, at least I learned something. And it's the same with relationships. You give your focus towards one woman, you grow. Basically, it's like grass, right? It's like there's a lot of people, they see their yard and it's all fucked up, and they look at somebody else's yard that's beautiful and they're like, well, the location was fucked up. That's the only reason why. And they don't realize that they can water their own grass and nurture their own grass to have a beautiful garden. So they go out and they go fuck around in other gardens, and they realize that their garden that they have was fucked up because of them. They don't ever realize that. And so as a man, you have to understand that in relationships, when you get in a relationship, you also have to grow it. Both parties have to grow it. It's not just you. It's also the woman that you're with too. You have to be able to grow it. If you can't grow it, then it's going to fail, right? And if you go and you look at somebody else's business, it's the same with business. You look at somebody else's business that's succeeding, you see yours failing, you now switch business models because you think that's the right thing to do, when that business that you had the potential to blow the fuck up. But you didn't give it the time, you didn't give it the energy to actually do that. So you go and you try this other business model, you start over from zero again. Now you have a warped perception of business and you just think you have to keep jumping around. I'm saying this because this was me. This was me in relationships and this was me in business. And it's eerily similar. Like I said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's not until you start to realize that what I have now, how do I nurture this? How do I become the man that gets everything that I want within this relationship, and the woman also gets everything that she wants in the relationship? I'm not saying this shit's easy. It's not. But real men don't need easy. They need challenge, not direct challenge in terms of a woman constantly challenging you and butting heads with you. That's bullshit. We know this. But the relationship dynamics and understanding the psyche of a woman takes years to fucking understand. And if you're not willing to actually put yourself in the arena and actually be there, because I'm not speaking from theory, fellas. I'm married. I'm in a really good relationship, and I have a beautiful woman who's a high caliber woman that helps me in my business, that helps me in my life, that actually provides value to me. I'm not saying this shit like I'm somebody like a lot of these fucking red pill alpha male gurus that aren't in relationships, probably have never been in a solid relationship in their life. They're trying to give you advice, and they're not even in the situation that you want to be in. I'm actually in the fucking field, in the arena, telling you that this is exactly the same shit as business. It's the complete same. And if you're somebody who, let's say you're not in a relationship, it's the same as when you start a business and you're trying to find customers, right? It's the same funnel. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Top of funnel is attraction and filtering, right? To then go into nurturing, where the middle of the funnel is, where it's the conversations that you have with the woman. Same thing with the conversations that you have with the potential customer that's on your email list, that's in your marketing funnel. You have these nurturing moments to be able to build trust. And then there's the close, the bottom of the funnel, the thing that you do to close the deal. Same with a woman, the thing that you do to close that deal for that relationship that's going to thrive for you after you've already filtered everything out. It's the same fucking shit. And a lot of guys struggle with top of funnel. Maybe they're not in shape. Maybe they don't have things put together. Their life looks like shit. They don't have any direction in life. So their attraction signal is completely off, right? So they broadcast some bullshit, and they wonder why they're not getting high caliber women to actually be attracted to them, and they get all of these shitty women. Well, look at your top of funnel signal. Look at what you're signaling to the market. Look at how you think about yourself, your self-image. Your self-image reflects the exact results that you get in life and business, because your business reflects your self-image and women reflect your self-image. It's the same shit. So that top of funnel is important. And also filtering. You have to know who your ICP is. What do I mean by ICP for the people who are not business savvy? ICP is your ideal customer profile. Your ideal customer profile. What does that mean? That means the exact avatar, the exact persona that you want to work with in business, that you want to be your customer. You need to define that shit. And a lot of men don't define who their ideal relationship partner is. They don't define who their ideal woman is. They don't define what they will accept, what they won't accept, who this is for, who this is not for. Who are you for and who are you not for? What are your boundaries? It's the same with business. A lot of people get shitty clients and they wonder, how the fuck did I get all these shitty clients? You don't have a filtering system. You don't even know what it is that you want. What is it that you want? What kind of customer do you want? Do you want a customer who is between the ages of 25 to 30 or 25 to 40? Do you want customers who are between 20 to 25? You don't even know. So you're taking all these people in and you're just looking for money. And in the inverse, when it comes to relationships, you're looking for just sex. And that's all you want. You don't actually want to develop lifetime value. That's the problem with a lot of guys nowadays. They don't give a fuck about lifetime value. What is lifetime value? Because this is a business term. This is the amount of value, the amount of money that a customer spends with you over a certain period of time within your business. All businesses that are the most successful have the highest lifetime values. It's all about the back end. It's all about when that customer now becomes in your ecosystem, how can you retain that? It's the same with relationships. When you finally have a woman that is solid that you want to be with, how the fuck do you retain that woman and that woman doesn't want to just leave you because you're a piece of shit? How? Right? It's the same mechanism. The same way that you would have incentives, that you'd be able to solve deeper problems, that you'd be able to provide more value when that customer comes in, is the same way that you're going to do that in a relationship. It's the same shit. When the woman comes in, you provide more value. She also provides you more value, because here's the thing. It's a value exchange. All business is a value exchange. Value in terms of money, value in terms of information, knowledge, implementation. It's an equal value exchange based on the perception of value on both sides. Men and women are not equal, but they are equal in the specific values that they actually provide independently. That's what I'm saying. Men and women from a gender perspective are not equal, but they are equal in the amount of value that they can provide to each other. Your value that you want from a woman most likely is not money. If it is, you're a fucking idiot. You're a loser, right? That means you're basically trying to be a pimp. I get it, right? You probably read Iceberg Slim. By the way, that's a great book. You probably want to be a pimp and shit. You want to be a digital pimp. You want to do webcam shit. You want to be with this woman and then flip her over for webcam. If that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. By the way, you probably shouldn't fucking listen to me because I'm going to trigger you and you're not going to like me. Because I'm all about one woman, one mission, or one empire, one life. That's all it is for me. That's how my entire life from a trend perspective has moved towards. And it's helped me tremendously. But I don't want to derail from what I'm saying, right? Lifetime value. It is important to understand how can I maximize the lifetime value? How can I have this woman for life? And how can I be the man that she wants to be with for life? And how can I transform her as well to continuously grow with me to be the woman that I'm with for life as well? And here's the thing with business. There are things that just don't work. There are some customers that just don't fucking stay. No matter how much value you provide, they cannot stay because there's something wrong with them internally. There's something that they're wrestling with that they don't understand, and it's not your fault. And they leave. It's fine. Right? Same with relationships. You may be with a woman and you feel like you're giving everything, and that woman cannot handle that shit, and she self-sabotages, and you can cut her off there because you have fucking boundaries. In business, you can fire your own clients. You can break up with the woman if she's not providing the value it is that you need from a woman. Yes, it is possible. Even when you're married, you can do that shit. Now, there is a very smart and strategic way to do it if you're in that position. There's a way where you don't break the trust, or you don't break the emotion so bad to where it backfires on you, to where now the woman wants to take everything from you with revenge, because revenge is a feminine trait, by the way. It's the same with the client, right? You fire the client. Now the client goes on Reddit threads and shit and talks shit about you and ruins your reputation, ruins your entire fucking business because you didn't know how to separate from that client in a very diplomatic way. It's the same. I don't think you guys understand how similar this shit is and how high level this conversation is that a lot of people just don't fucking have. And it helps if you're into business, if you're into these things, this will help you understand relationships so much better. And you'll understand why, okay, if you're a successful business guy right now and you're watching this, you have one fucking business. You have one business that you're trying to maximize, that you're trying to put systems in place, that you're trying to make sure goes on autopilot so you don't have to put in so much work. It's the same with fucking relationships. You have one relationship, you have one woman, and you're trying to maximize the experience in that relationship. You're trying to maximize the value that you get from the woman and that you provide from that woman as well. And you're able to now grow exponentially. Then you have children, right? It's the same with the business. You now have sub businesses that come out of that business. And now you have to manage that, and now you have to grow that. But if that one business couldn't really sustain, those sub businesses are going to fail, which is why we have a society with men who are literally broken because they come from broken households. And now the psyop that you've been presented by people who, and this is going to make me sound like I'm a conspiracy theorist, who have been CIA psyoped, who have been CIA operated, to be able to make you believe that it's better to be with 100 different types of women and never commit to one. Do you know that that is a fucking propaganda machine that's being pushed? There's a reason why some of these popular figures are associated with the CIA. They're associated with all of these other things, and they're telling you, they're brainwashing you with all this bullshit. Do you know why that's happening? Because it benefits the government. That's why. It benefits the government. It benefits all of that shit. Follow the paper trail. Follow the money. When you're dating a bunch of different types of women and you're having kids with a bunch of different types of women, and now you have to pay child support, there's taxes on that shit too. And then on top of that, you're living in two different places, which means you're paying two separate rents or two separate mortgages, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Now that all of that money goes to the fucking government. So you've been psyoped to believe that it's better to be with multiple women at a time and just juggle around, and you get reckless and you get a bunch of women pregnant, and now you're stuck, and now you're spending money on bullshit, and you're spending your hard-earned attention that could be used to maximizing your business, to maximizing your life, to maximizing your health, and you're fucking it off. And all of the sub-businesses that you have, the kids that you have, are now going to be fucked up in that process, and the process will continuously repeat until your entire fucking bloodline is rinsed. Fractured homes across the board. Now you have a dysfunctional family. Now you have children who are in society and they're the worst human beings in society, and they never had a father around because you left or you weren't around enough. Their mother's bitter now. So now the mother is basically trying to instill all of the bullshit on them. And now they become a mama's boy or a mama's girl, whatever it is. And they follow that mom who's single. It's the same shit with business. Your business starts to collapse when that main business does not run properly. You have to understand that this is literally the most powerful possible comparison that I can give when it comes to having a long-lasting relationship. This is not going to make me the fucking red pill guy because I never wanted to be that shit. It's a bunch of lames now. It used to be cool. It used to be, oh, wow, I didn't know this shit about women. Now it's become forget all women, men going their own way, don't get into relationships, don't get married, don't do all that because I failed at my fucking life. That's what these guys do. They failed at their own shit. They didn't have their self-image put together. They didn't understand how to handle conflict. They didn't understand how to filter women out at all. They got married early. They got married. They did all of that shit like innocently. They didn't have the experience. They didn't take the time to actually find themselves and figure out what their boundaries were. They fucked it up, and now they make it seem like it's the worst possible place to go. And it's not. It's the best possible place to go, especially, and it's only good. Here's the thing. It's only good for men who actually have a purpose in life and have a mission in life that they want to accomplish that's larger than themselves. That's the only time what I'm saying is good. That's what I'm saying. There are only a smaller group of men that will understand what it is that I'm saying. Because every actual successful person that I know, besides the outliers who say Elon Musk has all these baby mamas and shit, you don't know what that motherfucker's going through behind the scenes. You have no idea. None. You don't know what emotional wreck he is. Man's addicted to fucking ketamine. There's a reason for that shit. You look at Tate, you're like, well, Tate's successful. He has all these women. Well, first, I don't even want to get into that shit because that's a whole deeper topic. But you can see the fruit, bro. The child support that has to be paid. The women who are accusing him of shit. Whether he did it or not, I don't know. I don't really care. But you get the point. There's a lot of turmoil. What peaceful man who actually has success and is living a beautiful life that's not posturing has multiple women? Look at Dan Bilzerian. Had hundreds of women. And now he's like, bro, monogamy, one woman is the best way to go. One woman is the best way. A man who had it all is telling you that shit. And you look at me and it's like, I'm like, come on. I can get whoever I want. I can have the option I've had that since I've been working on myself, but I chose one. I'm not sitting here telling you this shit from scarcity mode or from a scarcity mindset. Like, oh, I had to just settle with one. Really didn't. I didn't. But I understood the value of having one. And I watched guys who were very successful, who are multimillionaires, and a lot of them billionaires. In the Utah Valley, there are some billionaires out there. Big time. And I've talked with them and I've seen their family. One woman, multiple kids, one business, exited that business for billions of dollars and still has that one woman. Didn't cheat, didn't do any of that. By the way, how you do one thing is how you do everything. You want to see how you want to trust somebody? If you see a man that's fucking around with women and is cheating on women, is doing all that shit and is glorifying that shit, he's gonna do the same shit to you when you work with him. Whether it's from a high level business perspective or from you just working with them in terms of them mentoring you or them teaching you something, they're gonna fuck you up the same way because their mindset is the same. How you do one thing is how you do everything. You build a business, you only care about top of funnel attraction. You don't give a fuck about what that system in that business is and what results it's generating. And all you care about, churn and burn, churn and burn. Have one client, one customer here. He has a fucked up experience. He leaves. Fuck it. We have advertising to get more. We're just going to keep getting more. More people are going to have shitty experiences and everyone's going to be fucked up because they've spent all this money and got absolutely nothing. And you notice that he's doing the same shit with women. Churning and burning, pumping and dumping. And you wonder, and you start to wonder, well, if he's doing that with women, how the fuck is he gonna do that with me? I don't trust a motherfucker that's actually cheating on his wife on a consistent basis and trying to hide that shit and isn't man enough to realize I'm not ready to be in a fucking relationship right now. I still have to do all this extra bullshit because I'm still a child. Because I don't give a fuck if you're successful or not. If you're still doing that shit, you're still a child. Because you haven't gone through the process of having abundance and knowing that, well, shit, I had all of this, but there's this one that I can grow the most, that can grow with me, that I can build an empire with. And a lot of men don't understand that shit. And you might be saying, well, Martel, what if it all goes bad? It's the same with business. What if the business fails? The business fucking failed. Did you learn something from it or not? Because I've had businesses that have failed, multiple, and I've learned a shit ton from it. More than if they were to succeed. If I had my first business succeed, bro, I wouldn't know shit about business. I would literally think I would have one luck. It's luck. Your first business winning is luck. You can't replicate that process again. You're a one-hit wonder. But if you fail multiple times and you start to see patterns and you start to understand yourself a bit better, you start to be able to filter ideas a bit better. Same way you filter women a bit better. You nurture women a bit better. You understand that, okay, well, they're emotional. I need to listen. It's not all about me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of men go into relationships and they're fucking selfish. It's all about them. And it's like, no, you still have to listen. You still have to understand the emotions, even though that shit can get annoying sometimes because as a man, you're logical. You're not emotional. I hope you're not fucking emotional. If you're emotional, you're biologically a woman or hormonally a woman, if I should say, not biologically. You're hormonally a woman. If you get overreactive and over emotional over shit, check your fucking testosterone and your DHT levels because there's something off about it. Because women have a lot of estrogen. And unfortunately, a lot of men have estrogen nowadays, which is why they're so hyper emotional in comments, putting out paragraphs of hate because they disagree with a fucking opinion. Pixels on a screen. Words. You see how retarded that is? But again, it's the same shit with relationships. A lot of men are hyper reactive, hyper emotional. They're basically the exact same as the woman that they're with. The woman now feels like they're literally in a fucking roommate situation with one of their best friends. And then they stop having sex with you. They stop wanting to. They start saying that they're tired. This shit happened to me before. I'm not saying this shit like it's never happened to me. They stop having sex with you. All of the polarity goes away. And you wonder why everything's going wrong. And you blame it on her. And sometimes it is the woman's fault. I'm not going to sit here and say it's always our fault. No. But you also have to take accountability. And you also have to learn from experiences that you've had, from heartbreaks that you've had, and figure out how you're going to keep guardrails. And keeping guardrails doesn't mean that you now become a fuckboy for the rest of your life. That is coping the wrong way. You have to learn from this shit and get better. Understand psychology. Understand how people's minds work, how women's minds work. People say, oh, it's impossible to understand how a woman's mind works. It's fucking easy. You just haven't taken the time to learn that shit. You don't care. You care about what you need. You care about what you think, how your mind works. And you think the woman's going to have the same mind as you. No, it's the same with a fucking client. You don't ever, when you're trying to attract or when you're trying to nurture clients, you don't inflict or you don't push your ideology or your positioning if you know that that's not going to resonate with them. It's like writing copy on a landing page because you want it to look a certain way, because you feel good about it, and then being mad that nobody fucking clicks and nobody wants to buy from you. Duh. You find a product, you want to sell the product, you make a website, you're like, this is such a beautiful website. Oh. And then you write the copy on the website, you start running ads on it, nobody's clicking and buying. And then you get pissed off and you say the market's saturated, e-com is bullshit, it's a fucking scam. No, you're a scam. You are a fucking scam. You say, oh, all women are bad. No, you're bad. You suck. You're a dickhead. And that's why all this shit goes bad. Because you didn't take the time to understand, in business, consumer psychology, so that you can create something that aligns with how their paradigm is. Same with relationships. You didn't create an environment. You didn't present yourself in a way that aligns with what that woman's feminine paradigm is. And so it all got fucked up. So you have to learn all this shit. This is what I learned in business, what business taught me about women. This is literally what it is. You can take it or leave it. You can call this bullshit. The people who run businesses, their minds are probably blown right now because they never thought about this type of parallel. That's what I do. I have parallels. I take lessons from shit that you wouldn't even think you can get a lesson from and apply it to some shit that's unrelated, but is still related at the same time. But I hope this was valuable for you. Again, link will be in the description if you want to work with me one-on-one. You're an elite man. You're building an empire. You want to have a high caliber woman that is with you, building that empire, helping you build that empire as well in whatever way, shape, or form that is, in the most feminine possible way. And be able to actually have children and be able to have an actual relationship that breaks all of the bullshit relationships that we see now that aren't working, that are crumbling. And you want to live a good life, I will help you with that because I have that shit. And it's taken me time to understand how to get that. And I'm still learning. I haven't fully gone like, what is it called? The sensei. I'm not the full sensei yet, but I've learned a lot of shit. And I'm only 28. I'm only 28. It's crazy as fuck. Same. I've learned a lot about business and I'm only 28. I've learned about mergers and acquisitions. I've learned a lot about venture capital, fundraising. I've learned a lot about actually hiring employees and being able to manage people. I've learned all this shit and I'm 28. There's some people who won't learn this shit till they're 50. I've accelerated my life through being in the fucking arena. I've forced myself to be in the arena in all aspects of life. And that's why I can sit here and tell you this shit today. So I appreciate you. And again, links will be in the description. If you're interested, if you don't have the money to work with me one-on-one, but you still want to be able to invest in yourself and you believe that I can help you in some form, some way, shape, or form, I do have courses, paid programs that are literally like, bro, it's affordable. You buy clothes, you buy all this shit to try to prop yourself up to be this guy. Why don't you buy some shit that's going to teach you something? Charisma and communication, fitness, personal branding, to be able to make money the way that I'm making money now. All of these courses will be in the description. If you're actually serious about yourself, you'll actually tap into it. If you're not, fuck off. But I appreciate you and I'll catch you on the next video.